Hey everybody, it's Joe from greenlightsound.com, and today we're going to take a look at how we can take our stock DAW compressor and use it in conjunction with another tool, FabFilter Saturn 2, to sort of mimic some classic analog style compressors. And the way we do that is by dialing in the same sort of settings that you get from the compressor side of things and that nice saturation you get from the analog circuitry side of things. And that's going to come from FabFilter Saturn 2, which is really versatile saturation / distortion unit, multiband, can do all kinds of really cool things, but we're going to use it for some subtle saturation in this case. And the compressor we're going to try to match the settings to is the classic LA2A optical compressor. One of the tricky things about copying the settings of this old analog gear in your DAW's stock compressor is that they often don't have the controls that the stock compressor does. So for example, the LA2A has peak reduction and gain. That's it for basic compression controls. You don't know what the ratio, attack, and release times are. So you have to do a little bit of research on this. And in this case, I'll let you know what they are for the LA2A. First of all, the LA2A has around a 4-to-1 ratio. The ratio actually fluctuates depending on the source, but it's around 4-to-1. It's got a frequency-dependent attack time, but it averages around 10 milliseconds. So the first two settings I put in on the stock compressor are 4-to-1 ratio, 10 millisecond attack. The LA2A's release time is program dependent, and it's a two-stage release, with the first stage being a 60 millisecond release time and the second stage being a 1 to 15 second release time, depending on how much compression is going on. So anything over 60 milliseconds and pushing to the longer side of things is going to be kind of in the LA2A's release characteristic. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it's going to be in the same ballpark as the LA2A. Then you want to move your compressor knee to a soft knee because this is a soft knee compressor. And once you have those settings down, you can pretty much run this compressor like an LA2A. The threshold would be the peak reduction, and the makeup would be the gain. And it becomes basically a two-knob compressor like the LA2A. What it doesn't have is that to-be goodness of the LA2A. We'll add that in with Saturn 2 in a minute. So the first thing I want to do is hear the dry vocal all by itself, no compression at all.
I can be your undercover lover. I can be whatever gets you through. I can be a superhero, deflecting all the things that they may say to you.
Now if we engage the LA2A compressor, this is the sound we get.
I can be your undercover lover. I can be whatever gets you through. I can be a superhero, deflecting all the things that they may say to you.
So a lot of dynamic control and some subtle change to the tone. It's a lot less obvious than people think when using some of these analog style compressors. It's a slight change to the tone, not like a really aggressive compression, especially on vocals. Of course, if you like crush an 1176, it totally changes the tone, but that's not what we're doing here. I'll bypass it on and off as it plays so you can hear what's going on.
I can be your undercover lover. I can be whatever gets you through. I can be a superhero, deflecting all the things that they may say to you.
There's like sort of this low mid something going on that it's adding to it. So I'll bypass the LA2A and I'll engage the stock Personas compressor.
I can be your undercover lover. I can be whatever gets you through. I can be a superhero, deflecting all the things that they may say to you.
So it's controlling the dynamics a lot like the LA2A is. It just doesn't have that subtle something that the LA2A has that imparts on the tone. So that leads us to the Saturn 2. I'll engage that. I picked subtle tube here as its saturation type. There's a bunch of different things you can choose from, but subtle tube is where we want to be. I dialed it in pretty strong because it is subtle.
I can be your undercover lover. I can be whatever gets you through.
Without.
I can be your undercover lover. I can be whatever gets you through.
Back in with the saturation.
I can be your undercover lover. I can be whatever gets you through.
It's really subtle. I'll bypass it on and off as it plays.
I can be your undercover lover. I can be whatever gets you through. I can be a superhero, deflecting all the things that they may say to you.
And of course, if that's too subtle, we can always go to warm tube here and dial in a little bit more.
I can be your undercover lover. I can be whatever gets you through. I can be a superhero, deflecting all the things that they may say to you.
And that actually is a little bit closer to what you'd be looking for from that LA2A. A little bit more saturation there. So again, here is the LA2A compression all by itself.
I can be your undercover lover. I can be whatever gets you through. I can be a superhero, deflecting all the things that they may say to you.
And here is our stock compressor with Saturn II.
I can be your undercover lover. I can be whatever gets you through. I can be a superhero, deflecting all the things that they may say to you.
And while it's not exactly the same, it is very similar style of compression. That kind of slower attack and release time, not a very high ratio, soft knee compression will get you in the right ballpark for what you need from this type of compressor. And if you want to try to do this on another type of compressor, you can always just research the settings, research the attack release times, the ratios that are included, kind of what type of compression it is. So for an 1176, for example, you want to get off 2 because it's a solid state unit and go to like transformer, and then dial in the amount of saturation you want from there. And from that, we can get our stock compressor to get a little bit of that analog vibe that we like from our classic analog modeled compression plugins. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, so we can keep you in the loop as to what's coming up next, and I'll see you in the next one.